My name is Aquilino Wambar. I'm emergency response with the Sacramento County Children Protective Services. I've been working for Sacramento County CPS for 5 years and a half, and before the implementation of the sign of safety, the social workers and we were the expert when we work with the family members. We pretty much tell them what our concerns are, and but with the sign of safety, the family members become the expert. They know the families are better than us when we walk in the house. So it allows us to engage and listen to them, and they tell us what is working and what's not working. So we use both what is working and that's working to work with them and then address the issue that led us in the house. Sign of safety has a lot of tools I like, and one of the few tools I usually, before I go out to the house to see the families, is what I look in the referral. When I read it, is I'm looking for danger statement and harm statement. And I think once I have those two things with me, I know where I should focus. So when I go there, I'll talk to the families and explain to them that somebody has a concern and call my department, and this is what the danger statements look like for us. Does this what it looks like to you? Tell me if this danger statement is that something you're concerned about. And I talk with the kids, even though the ones are even younger. They really can see it that, if I'm in danger or somebody's harming me, I'm going to talk to someone. So it allows them to be open up, even to engage with me as someone they don't know, and allows them to warn it. It's like, there's something here that I need to talk to this social worker to address it. And I also use 3 houses, and I have combined 3 houses with scaling tools. And I took those drawing and the scaling and then discussed it with mom, and mom was very shocked that her drinking is really impacting the child, but she was denying at the beginning. She tells me that she's safe, but when I give her the child's number, which she told me is a 3, and a 1 is mom, when mom is drinking and she's driving the car, I feel like she's gonna crash the car and I'm gonna die. And that was the breaking point for me with that family. So those tools are very powerful, and they're very useful when I use them, and pretty much I think they work most of the time. And I will continue to use them, and also learn new tools that are available with the sign of safety. If I have used the old way, a practice, I will be telling her, you need to stop drinking, otherwise we're going to remove your kids. But with the sign of safety, using the 3 houses and scaling, and allows me to actually let the 9-year-old to be expert. She knows better than me what's going on in the house. Along talking to grandfather and grandma and mom, seeing those tools and numbers, and finally she say, I have a problem here. I'm going to go to rehab, and I want to be a better mom, and which is I think she is right now by allowing me to work with her and me using those signs of safety. So I think it was a success. Anytime there's a change in any agency or organization, is always challenges, there's always fight to change. And initially, I will have to be honest with you, I didn't just jump on board, and it was my program manager, Miriam, who kept encouraging me, saying, did you do this? Did you try this? And once I started doing it, and I started liking it, I started seeing how it makes my job much easier. And but as an emergency response social worker is the time, the constraint. Sometimes I don't just have enough time to sit down and do the mapping, and because I really like the mapping. But I use what I have, like scaling, which is much shorter, and then 3 houses, and I continue there. But I think as I practice more, I'm seeing less challenges with the sign of safety. I'm hoping that the agency really should continue really to implement the sign of safety. And I don't just want it to try it and then stop. And I hope that we continue using it because within like, I'll say 5 months I've been doing this, we've been doing this, is I see positive signs. You know, it made CPS, in my opinion, that when families have contact with us and we use sign of safeties, and when we leave, it makes family feel less scared of CPS. CPS become less scarier because the word CPS itself, you know, it scares a lot of family. And one family, you know, specifically told me after we did TDM and then we did a sign of safety mapping, and that family walked out of building saying, this is not the CPS that my neighbors told me, that they're gonna take my kids, I'll never see them, and they're gonna sell them to foster care. But that day after we had that TDM and mapping and all that stuff, they walked back with their kid who was placed by the police and stayed in the receiving room for 5 days. But once I was able to engage the family members and listen to them and allow them to tell us what is working at home and what is not working at home, at the end of the meeting, using, you know, danger statement, using harm statement, using mapping questions, using scaling questions, 3 houses with the little girl and with the family, they left that room feeling much comfortable. As a matter of fact, they call in and they ask for counseling, and I hope that the agency really support the workers, encourages the social workers and supervisors to implement this new wonderful way of looking families and way of engaging families, way of empowering families, and way of making sure the kids are safe and stay in the community instead of foster home.